Dreams are the object of a person's ambitions or effort. They are an aim or a desired result that you plan to reach in the future. Dreams are essential to childhood. They are essential to childhood because as we grow, we tend to put limitations on ourselves. Sometimes when we grow up, we carry those dreams with us, from childhood to adulthood. If we do not create these dreams in childhood, then we do not have anything to carry with us throughout our teenage years, which is already a hard transition in life. Even if you do not fulfill these childhood dreams, they end up shaping who you are in the end and who you will become. I had many dreams as a child. When I was 8 years old, I read a book about gymnastics in the library. It interested me so much that I took it home to show my mom and dad. My mom pulled up videos on YouTube of Dominique Dawes and showed them to me. I watched her compete the same routines over and over again, about 1,000,000 times. While I watched her videos on my TV in the basement, I would mimic them and try to do all the flips that she did. Keep in mind, at this point in my life, I had never really done gymnastics before, so I was probably on the verge to an injury. My parents saw potential in me. She picked me up from school one day, and she had a sparkly pink bag. Inside the pink bag was a pink leotard with rhinestones all over it with a matching scrunchie. I was so excited because I could now mimic my new routines in my fancy new leotard. It never occurred to me that she was going to take me to an actual gymnastics class. That day, she took me to River City Turner's for my first gymnastics class. That was the happiest that I had ever been in my entire life. I felt so free, so alive. The gym had become my happy place. I wanted to be there every second of every day. I had only been in gymnastics for the summer, and I had already skipped from level 1 to level 4 in the span of 2 months. Each level usually takes a year to complete. I competed one season of level 4, and I ended up winning state that year. I also competed one season of level 5 and won state that year. I was so good at level 5 that they let me skip level 6. I had watched the Olympics around this time and realized that was really what I wanted to do when I got older. My childhood dream became to receive a full-ride scholarship to the University of Kentucky for gymnastics and then move to Iowa to train for the Olympics. Iowa is where they had the best facilities and coaches. By this time I had met 3 Olympians, Nastia Lukin, Bridget Sloan, and Shawn Johnson. Not only did I meet them, but I was coached by them. I had 2 state titles, 1 regional title, and a national title. When I got to level 7, I switched to Champion Gymnastics, which was the best gymnastics academy in the region. Practices were Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Gymnastics was taking over my life. It made school so much harder. I never had time to do homework, and I was always falling asleep in class. I hated it when I got to Champion. They made me change all of my routines and my skills. They even made me change my technique. I had to repeat level 7 3 times before I could move up to level 8. Before this, I had never competed a level more than once in my life. When I finally made it to level 8, they made me repeat that twice too. As I grew older, I became scared to perform all the skills that I had been performing for years now. I let my mind get the best of me. That year, I spent most of my practices crying in the bathroom because I felt like such a failure. My mom and dad were paying $500 a month for me to be there, and I couldn't even do what I was supposed to do. My fear grew to be so bad that my coaches did not allow me to compete anymore because I was such an embarrassment. Fear was probably the biggest brick wall that I've encountered in my whole life. My parents were constantly threatening to make me quit if I could not do what I was supposed to do. Finally, I decided that gymnastics just wasn't for me anymore. I just fell out of love with the sport that had once been my everything, so I quit. My parents were really upset. They said that I wasted their money for 8 years, and I began to feel guilty. After I quit gymnastics, my grades went up and I wasn't sleeping in school anymore, but I was always bored. My parents had been trying to get me to run track since I was in the 5th grade, but I never really wanted to. I figured every other sport runs as punishment. Why would I want running to be my sport? But at this point, I figured I had nothing better to do. I got to my first practice and I absolutely loved it. It felt even better than my first gymnastics class. I was able to make it to state my first year as a sophomore. People kept telling me how great of an achievement it was. I ended up placing well in all of my events. I got 4th in the 400-meter dash and 1st in the long jump. This made me fall even more in love with the sport. My parents were so supportive during the track season. They never missed a track meet. They took track so seriously that they even got me a personal trainer, one for long jump and one for running. They grew to love track more than they ever loved gymnastics. After state, I transferred to Butler High School. Mercy would not release me to run track, so my mother had to appeal it and go to court. The thought of not being able to run track was another brick wall that I encountered. I was scared of not being able to run track my junior year because that's the biggest year for college recruiting. Dreams evolved as I got older, but my childhood dreams formed the foundation for my current dreams. They have influenced me to become the person that I am today. Gymnastics taught me responsibility, dedication, discipline, and time management. Even though I did not get a full-ride scholarship to the University of Kentucky, and I am not going to the Olympics for gymnastics, I did receive a full-ride scholarship to the University of Louisville, and there's still the hope of me going to the Olympics for track and field.